There are all sorts of other emotional regulation techniques like yoga and things like that. But you're going to have to start to, in order for this relationship to survive, there must be effort put into emotional regulation that does not rely on you. Okay, so that's really critical. The next thing that we're going to talk about is a little bit weird, but this is don't overreact to the highs. The biggest mistake that I see a lot of people who have relationships with BPD make is that they hate the lows. So we're totally fine getting rid of the lows, but we don't want to get rid of the highs, right? Like, dude, when a woman tells me that the only thing in life that will fix all the trauma is my dick, that's really addictive, right? Because we're men and like our self-esteem is based on the performance of our penis or size of our penis or whatever. And especially if I have a average size penis or less than average size penis, like that's going to mean so much to me. So one of the key things that I found working with people with BPD and people who are dating BPD is that you can't give in to the highs as well. So you need tranquility from the highs and the lows. So if there's something super amazing that y'all are about to engage in, you need the same amount of restraint, which is something that in society we never talk about, right? We're all for getting rid of the lows, but no one's like, hey, by the way, you should temper your highs. You should not lean into the best parts of your relationship. What? That's insane. But the key thing in BPD is that we don't want to be reactive, right? We don't want to follow the yo-yo when it's on its up. We don't want to ride the roller coaster all the way up because as soon as we go all the way up, there's going to be a plunge. Right? So we want to stay as neutral as possible. The next thing that we're going to talk a little bit about is encouraging the dialectic. So this is super cool, but there's one of the best evidence-based treatments for borderline personality disorder is something called dialectical behavioral therapy. And this is it's basically cognitive behavioral therapy with some amount of mindfulness and Eastern concepts mixed in. And the way that the therapy was developed is actually super cool too, because there was actually a psychologist who had BPD herself, and she's been pretty open about this. And her experience was that, therapy didn't offer quite enough. And so then she got into mindfulness and she discovered like one key concept from Eastern thinking, which in Sanskrit is Advait Vedanta, which then she found like, okay, this is what's missing from therapy. And the cool thing is that this is not an aspect of therapy. This is actually an aspect of Advaita Vedanta and the meditative traditions. And everyone should be learning this kind of stuff. So what does it mean to encourage the dialectic? So remember that people with BPD have very black and white thinking, right? They split. So either you are an angel or you are a demon. There's nothing in between. And so in the experience of people with BPD is often that if you are mad at me, that means you hate me. If you are mad at me, that means you don't love me. So they tie everything together. They cannot sit with the idea that someone is angry with me and loves me at the same time.